Hello everybody and welcome to the week 1 of the AFL Finals tips and discussion video. I'm your host Matt, joined here by Uncle this week. How are you?
Very good. How are you going?
We're great. We're doing really well.
Final time, Matt.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Screw Christmas. This is the most wonderful time of the year.
Especially when your
AFL
team's playing.
Yes, it's great. It's amazing. We're just going to quickly just recap our tipping competition between us two. Last round, it's been a couple of weeks since we've talked footy, really. But we started the week 138 for myself and 140 for yourself going into the final round. 10 games to play. I needed 3. I got 2. Funnily enough, I got 9 out of 10. And I wanted to tip Port Adelaide. So if I had to just tip Port Adelaide, I would have got 10 out of 10. It wouldn't have made a difference, though. 10
out of 10.
10 out of 10 would have been really good, but luckily enough, 9 out of 10 for myself, 8 out of 10 for you, so that gave you a 1-point victory in the home and away season. So congratulations, you're the first winner of our tipping competition here on the
Inaugural
videos.
winner? Yeah.
Inaugural winner. We don't have a trophy yet. We'll figure it out. We'll give you something. But yes, Joe, you got Port Adelaide correct over Gold Coast. I went the opposite teams for the 3 differences that we had. You tipped first and went Hawthorn. I got Lions, thankfully, and you went Doggies, and I got Fremantle, which, surprising to a lot of people, they got up and locked themselves into a final slot. But yeah, so there you have it. Uncle wins, but we don't have a ladder predictor anymore, Uncle, but we do have
Finals predictor?
we have the finals path to premiership.
Okay.
Just the table at the moment, which we might update as we go along. We're just going to keep track of who's beaten who for the final series, and that way we can discuss who will get what home final, who will move where once we're discussing the actual games. Without further ado, let's get into the first game of the season, well, the final series. We've got Adelaide versus Collingwood. Adelaide Oval, Thursday, 7:40 p.m. A little bit late for a Thursday, but we like it. We're all around it. It's big finals feel. I'm not confident in the slightest. I probably think I'm the least confident Crow supporter. I think there's probably more people confident about the Crows that don't go for Crows than there are Crow supporters. I think all the Crow supporters are generally pretty iffy about it. How we're going to go. Other people are just looking at the ladder and tipping it. So I think the odds, I think, are a bit swayed. The Crows will obviously have to do it without Rankin, which, look, I don't think he was the difference between the two teams in the last time they played a few weeks ago. So there's that kind of benefit. Adelaide was still probably able to get it done without him there. But I don't know if they're able to do it back-to-back. I think Collingwood are pretty good. I think Bo McCreary's a test for this weekend. Rochelle's definitely not playing this weekend. So that's 2 big sways, in my opinion. If Bo McCreary gets in and Adelaide is still without Rochelle, that could be a big sway. So I'm personally...
What Collingwood do with Bobby Hill too?
Yeah, I've read that he still needs to put in work to get match fit. So that's going to be quite interesting. Depends on what they do. I don't know if you rush him back this week. I think maybe getting him a bit more fitness, and because you're guaranteed to play next weekend if you don't win. So I think they could bring him back then, and you still have a home final then. Or even if you do win, you've got that extra time to get him match fit for a prelim. So I'm going to go with Collingwood, though. I think Collingwood will get it done. I don't think Adelaide will be able to replicate it two games in a row against Collingwood.
Right. Well, this game I really didn't know who to pick, because Adelaide clearly have been the best team all year, finishing first. Collingwood's last 8 weeks, I think they've lost 5 games, so they have been horrendously bad in the run into the finals. But if ever there was a team that was going to benefit from a bye before the finals, the old legs of the Pies would be that team. So if they can find the form they had from the first 10 weeks, where they were just unbelievable, if that week's freshen up is going to affect them the same way it did at the start of the season, then Collingwood should win. I think if this was played last weekend, Adelaide would win easily.
Yep.
But that week's break for me has swayed it towards Collingwood as well. And if we look at the last game they played, Adelaide won, but Collingwood dominated the inside 50s 70-40.
Yeah.
If and the defence of Adelaide held up, but if Collingwood get 70 pings at it this time round, they won't lose. That won't happen again. So Adelaide are going to have to tighten up on not their defence, but their midfield defence really, and stop it getting inside the 50 as much as what it did. So if they're able to do that, that'll go a long step towards Adelaide winning as well. But yeah, I'm a bit. I didn't want you to pick Collingwood, but I'm going to pick Collingwood as well. Yeah, I think they might get the job done. Conspiracy theory: Adelaide deliberately you lose so that Rankin can play in the grand final. That's my conspiracy theory. Collingwood will win.
Yeah, you brought up the midfield battle. There's been actually quite a few games where Adelaide have lost the midfield battle and still won. So I know against Gold Coast at home, they lost that battle, still won. I know Brisbane at home, they lost the battle, still won. Collingwood again. So their midfield, I think we're an A grader short of having a good midfield. So we have a tendency to lose that midfield battle quite often. But it's a bit of a miraculous that we keep coming out with victories from it. So it's all goes to our defence of being able to defend well and get the ball out there.
Rebound.
I think it'll be quite interesting. Very, very close, I think. And I'm a little bit afraid of the Adelaide crowd getting quite feral after the last time. I think they'll be a bit angry or whatnot. They might be saying some pretty stupid shit, the crowd. So that could be quite... I don't know how to feel about it. It could fuck up the whole Crows momentum just playing fuckwits. So we'll see. Could
do, yeah. But should be a good game. Tune in. I assume you're broadcasting all finals?
All but the grand final and the Fremantle Gold Coast game this weekend. Because brother's birthday, so we're doing a birthday dinner that night and couldn't happen on the Sunday, so got to do it on the Saturday night, unfortunately. So, but we will be doing all other games. Second game, we got Friday night, 7:40, same time. We've got at the MCG, Geelong and Brisbane. Geelong getting themselves a second chance, same as Brisbane, really. It's both an away game for them. But I'm just going to quickly lock in Brisbane here. I think they've been quite phenomenal, actually. I think they're probably flag favourites, to be honest. Including the two games against Geelong this year, they both came out victories, including the one, I believe it was at the MCG earlier this year. But they came out, I think they won by 40 odd or something. They were quite dominant then. I think Geelong's had a really soft... run into finals, so you don't really know where they're actually at in comparison to the other top 8 teams. I think they played 2 top 8 teams in the last 10 weeks or so of the year and lost both of them. So we'll see where they're actually at. So yeah, got to go Brisbane.
Yeah, that game was at Cardinia Park. Brisbane won by 41 points. Yeah. And in fact, the last 5 times they've played, Brisbane have won 4 of them. They've got a really good recent record against Geelong at 3 different venues as well. The MCG, Cardinia Park and the Gabba. So they're beating them wherever they play them. They seem to be beating Geelong lately. Yeah, it's hard to get a gauge line, as you said, about the Geelong form line going in because they just haven't had any really competitive hit-outs. So it's hard to know how to line them up. The thing I'm going to take comfort in is that when they've won well. So a sign of a good side to me is when they play the lower ranked teams and beat them easily. They were smashing. Was it Sydney they played round 24?
Geelong? No, they versus Richmond round 24.
Richmond. They were smashing them, and then they just stopped at half time. So they really didn't care. They did enough to win. That's all they needed to do, and they did that. They really could have won that by over 100. I think they were 50 or 60 up at half time.
Yeah. I think they were probably just trying to feed Jezza early, and then when it wasn't looking like he was going to get 10, and they already had it sewn up by 10 goals or whatever, they kind of just went, well, there's no point trying.
Protect themselves.
Yeah. Don't want to get an injury.
So I'm going to go Geelong, but I think Brisbane are flag favourites, but In this one, I'm just going to go Geelong. It's another interesting game for a completely different reason, Adelaide Collingwood, because we don't know how Geelong really are going to stack up. And Brisbane have been winning. I mean, they only beat the Hawks by, 10 points or 12 points at the Gabba. And the Hawks finished 8th and Geelong have finished 2nd. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the two teams really are full strength, stacked up against each other at the home of footy. So I'm going to go Geelong without a lot of confidence. It's going to be another close game.
Over on Saturday now, we have GWS versus Hawthorn hosting at NG Stadium. First elimination final. From this game onwards, it is you lose and you're out. So no more ifs, buts or maybes. Do your best. Try it. Give that 110% for both teams. 3:15 Saturday afternoon. GWS for the home final, but I'm going to go with Hawthorn. I think they've been a much better side than what GWS has been. GWS have been very up and down, but getting a few wins coming into finals, which is good for your momentum. But I feel like the game against St Kilda, you should have put them away, and St Kilda were there the whole day. So a little bit struggling against lower end teams, but Hawthorn looked very, very good. Just a matter of who gets back for GWS. If they get back everybody that's on their list, like Kelly, Hogan, all of those people, I think it'll make it really interesting and quite tough. But if they only get half of them or none of them back, then I'm going Hawthorn by a landslide.
Yeah, they've both got two players. They've both got a player each that are coming in under a fitness cloud. So which team is going to take the risk in playing them? The Giants, as you say, with Hogan, who is critical for their structure up forward. He's a goal kicker of note, and he'll get goals against any backman. So if he's not there, who's going to kick? You're probably going to need to kick 15 goals against Hawthorn because of their forward line. So who's going to kick 15 goals for Giants in this game? It's hard to see without Hogan there. And the Hawks have got Weddle, who is speedy. He's a game breaker. He's just the sort of player that is good for finals, that can just do something, a bit like Rankin for Crows and every Rayner for Brisbane. Weddle's that sort of player for Hawthorn that can destroy a team in 10 minutes with his speed and his zip. So they're both critical selections. Interestingly, I heard a stat on the radio this morning. The Hawks have never won at this venue, ever. They've played there 8 times.
Okay.
5 of them against GWS. So GWS are 5-0 against the Hawks at this venue. So that may play on their minds a bit, especially the guys that have been there a few times. They may say, shit, I've never won here. Then again, that could be motivator. Hey guys, we've never won here. Let's win a final here and let's do it. So, Mitchell's probably the sort of coach that might say something like that to use it. But yeah, I'm pretty happy as a Hawthorn supporter. I'm pretty confident the Hawks can win this and go a bit further.
I think outside the top 4, Hawthorn are the only team that I think realistically can win it. I don't give anything to GWS, Freo, or Gold Coast actually winning the premiership. I think Hawthorn's probably there or thereabouts. And then it's down to the top 4 teams, I think.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, I've picked Collingwood this week, but I'd nearly write them off. I think another 4 week. They've got to win this week to get that break. If they don't win this week, I think you can put a line through them.
Okay. Finally, the only game that won't be streaming this weekend, Fremantle versus Gold Coast, but you can bet your bottom dollar that I'll be watching it somewhere. I just won't be able to stream it. But Fremantle versus Gold Coast probably did themselves a harsh job this last round, I should say, by not beating Port Adelaide in a game that they should have beat, because they had a lot of early chances where they were missing plenty of goals. I think they were 2 goals 6 at one point, only coming down and losing by under 2 goals, I believe it was. So you kick a couple extra goals throughout the game and you see themselves probably in a top 4 position. So now you've got an away game in an elimination final, first week of finals. I think Fremantle were fantastic against Bulldogs. We were kind of watching it and going, what the fuck's going on here? We weren't expecting Fremantle to come out and absolutely dominate Bulldogs in that second and third term. So
superb.
It was amazing. So off the back of that, I will be going Fremantle. Gold Coast had a really good win on the Wednesday of the final round, but it was against Essendon, who couldn't give 2 shits about actually being there. So I don't think that's a good run into finals for that game personally for them. But Fremantle, I think, should dominate here, and I think they'll have the do it for Fife up in the room somewhere. So I don't know. It'll give them a good advantage, but I think it'll be enough to get over Gold Coast, but maybe not against any of the top 4 teams.
Yeah, I can't see the odds, but I think they'd be the shortest odds team for the round to win. So
$1.52 to $2.55. I think they're the shortest odds.
I'd be surprised if they're any other shorter, because I know it's Gold Coast's first campaign. They'll be cock a hoop. We get into their first final series, but I think they might have shot their load by the game. So I think they'll fizzle out in the second half. Fremantle tend to finish strong, especially in the last quarter.
Yep.
I think they'll do a number on them. I think this will be over just about quite early on. So and Fremantle have all the stats going their way. They're 4-1 at the venue. They're 6-4 their last 10, 11-5 head-to-head. They won the last game they played. That was in the Gold Coast as well by 11 points. I think everything points to a Fremantle win here. So I'm going to go Freo.
Yeah, fair enough. Cool. One thing I forgot to say last game, GWS and Hawthorn, is I did look up the last 5 games just to see recent history. Funnily enough, it was whoever was at home won.
Oh yeah,
person at home has won the last at least 5 games, so that could be interesting for that guy. But this one, yeah, as you said, I think Fremantle will lock themselves into probably a semi-final. Who would they would play the loser of Geelong versus Brisbane. Yeah. I personally, I don't see the winner of this game making it through the semi.
No. And if Adelaide win and Collingwood lose, then Collingwood will play either GWS or Hawthorn.
Yep.
And either GWS or Hawthorn could cause an upset against Collingwood. So that half of the door is wide open, I think. I think the other half is probably the winner of this game, Geelong-Brisbane, will probably get to the grand final.
But it's funny for me because I think that first half, the Adelaide, Collingwood, GWS, Hawthorn, I think that's the toughest 4. Because from an Adelaide standpoint, you've got Collingwood, and if you lose that, you'll probably have Hawthorn. So I think the loser of that qualifying final is in big trouble because you probably play Hawthorn, and if you do play GWS, they're more likely to cause an upset than what Fremantle and Gold Coast are. So I think that's actually a tougher draw to get through to get to a prelim.
Yeah. And then you've got the winner of the Geelong-Brisbane at their home ground.
Yeah.
So the loser of Adelaide-Collingwood potentially plays the winner of Geelong-Brisbane. Yeah, tough.
It's very, very tough. But, so those are the tips, Uncle.
Oh, yes?
Those are the tips. Can you do me a favour and pick 2 numbers between 1 and 30s? 2 numbers. One for myself and one for you.
All right. Well, I'll take 5. It's my family's lucky number is 5.
Okay.
And I'll go 24 for you.
Okay. All right.
I would have gone 32. I think that's Fogg's number, isn't it? But
yeah, no, there's not enough there. That's fine.
Yeah,
So 24 for me,
you, 5 for me.
And 5 for you. All right. Give me a minute. So you've given me number 5. So
I've got 5. You've got 24.
Yeah. So you give me the number 5 for you.
Yeah.
You've given me the number 5. Out of the 37 categories that I've come up with, we're doing bingo this year. Finals, so cover all finals games. Okay, so it's not just the one grand finals, covers all finals games, so you'll have a continuous bingo card. Okay. I had it generate 30 bingo cards for me, just because that was the minimum from the website I used. And so we're going to give you number 5, this card right here. So I'm going to have a quick look at through. So you've got a very hard one in the middle of primary ruckman kicks a goal. That's your main slot. But I think you've been given a pretty decent one.
Player seen crying.
Yep. That's your bingo card. So whatever you get, a diagonal line straight through or fill the whole slot if you can. We'll see what you can get to. So those will be playing on stream for the watch-alongs this weekend and throughout all the finals games. That's Uncle's card right there. If you want to play along, I will put the categories and the website down below, that so you can just chuck through the categories into the bingo thing, generate your own ones, and that way you can play along as, at home from the watch-alongs. But that is Uncle's bingo card that he will be trying to keep an eye out for throughout the whole final series. If you want to watch along, just make sure to give us a like and subscribe, and that way you can see when we go live. We usually go live about 5 to 10 minutes before each game, so you can come in and we can chat all amongst the final series. So make sure you do that. Look after yourselves, and we will see you guys next week for the semi-finals tips and predictions. But make sure to do subscribe so you can come in and chat to us through the watch-alongs. See you later, guys.
See you Thursday night.